This video talks about what to look out for when choosing a spa with a high quality shell. There's no other aspect of a spa that determines its lifespan than the shell. So let's talk about the spa shell. Okay, I've always said that if the pump goes in a spa, you can replace it, a 1 hour call out, not a big deal. But if the shell goes in a spa, if it delaminates or cracks, you throw the spa away and start again. So it's very important you choose a spa with a great quality spa shell. So a few things to look out for. First of all, buy a spa that's made from American-made acrylic. There are two manufacturers of acrylic in America. One is Aristec, the other is Lucite. Both are as good as each other. Okay, the Chinese have started making acrylic locally. Still early days, unproven. I wouldn't buy a spa with Chinese acrylic. The next thing to look out for is a spa with a multi-layer fiberglass backing. In the spas that we carry at Spa World, they're generally a 4-layer shell construction, which is a layer of acrylic and then 3 different layers of fiberglass on the back. Fiberglass doesn't like sticking to acrylic because it's smooth. It's kind of like painting a window. You can scrape it off the glass. The paint doesn't stick to the glass very well. Same with spa manufacturer, the fiberglass doesn't really like sticking to the back of the acrylic because it's smooth. So the first layer is generally what's called a vinyl ester resin, which melts itself into the back of the acrylic and forms really good adhesion. The other thing to look out for is oven curing of the shell, because in manufacturing environments that might have high or low temperatures or high or low humidity, it could be that the fiberglass doesn't cure particularly well. By putting the shell through a curing oven, it ensures that the resin sets at exactly the right temperature and humidity levels to ensure long-lasting shell. Now, a lot of this is very, very hard to see when you are shopping for a spa. Oftentimes, the spa salesperson really isn't going to know much about how the shell is manufactured. So a cheat is to look at the spa's weight. Now, we've weighed 3 different spas, 2 that we carry at Spa World being the Fisher and Vortex, and then a generic lower priced spa. And as you'll see from the cutaways, the generic spa weighed in at 245 kgs, the Fisher came in at a smidge over 280 kgs, and the Vortex Mercury came in at 286. All 3 spas exactly the same size and equipment level, so the difference of weight was in the shell and primarily the amount of fiberglass that was used in the manufacturing of the shell. Also think about color choices. There are various choices can be made. Most cheap spas that you'll find on the market or at that entry level are a white marble. The reason being is that white marble acrylic is the cheapest acrylic for the manufacturer to buy. Not a massive fan myself. It can be a bit glary in high sun environments. So you'll find that higher quality spas have multiple color choices, including more muted sort of creamy colors, which are very popular nowadays, and black marble, etc. Another thing to look out for when you're considering the quality of the shell is, has the manufacturer had to prop the shell up in high stress areas? If you have a look under a spa, and you can see wooden struts or PVC pipe struts under the seats of the spa, you can pretty well guarantee that the spa shell is not strong enough to carry the weight of the water without extra assistance. So that's got to be a real red flag if you're seeing those struts. So I hope that explains why it's so important to do your research on how the spa shell has been manufactured.